Welcome to the ISB show. Continuing our coverage of the World Cup qualifiers, we have reached Africa, the African region. Rahi, my friend, here. Let's just see what things look like in that region. Here we go. Here's a quick reminder.
There it is.
Like the region.
Wow.
Yes.
Exciting, very difficult to qualify. The region I first loved. There's so much history in this region, so many incredible players that we've talked about. I am wearing a particular jersey. We'll get that to in a second, but there's so many good teams. Cote d'Ivoire, what a run they've had at times. Senegal, of course, we know all about Morocco. Egypt with one of the greatest players of all time now on that team. So many good teams in this region.
So here's where things stand right now. Just a brief overview of the groups here. Everything, you see some things that look, fairly similar to what they normally do. And then you got some surprises. So we're going to get into all of that right now. We'll put this to bed in terms of the table for those out there. And we will now get back into the breakdown.
Let's get into it. I want to talk about these games. Let's talk about them.
Let's talk about here. Here's a whole list of all the games. If you can figure out what, you can figure out which ones are which based on the
tough with the three letters.
Yeah, the naming, right? There's just too many to list it all out. So here we go. And we're going to start off like we always do in these videos, Rahi. I think I'm going to flip it up a little bit, and I'm going to go with the underperformer of the round first.
Okay.
We're going to go that way, and then we'll go to the winner from there. So who's your underperformer for this round?
This is a tough one. I've thought about this, but because there's such a difficult position the country's in, of course, in the middle of a civil war currently, there's a lot that this team has dealt with. They've had an incredible start to qualifiers, but I think that their bubble is going to be burst a little bit in this round. That, of course, is Sudan. Sudan, who is shockingly leading their group and has been incredible. But they have two difficult games this round. Two very difficult games, and I think this could be a challenging set of pictures for them.
So what about these matches? Because you're right, they've started off very hot, right? They've come off very strong. So what about these particular opponents do you think is going to be hard for them?
Well, Senegal, right? And Senegal looking there, sitting in second place. Senegal, extremely talented, all the history imaginable. And you have to feel that Senegal is going to be coming into this game thinking they need to get this result. They need to get top spot in this group. And this is the opportunity. And they are an attacking juggernaut, Senegal is. And I think Sudan is going to have their hands full in this game. That's the first one.
Right.
Do you disagree?
No, I agree with you. I think Senegal, that was one of the games that I had on my radar. We are, of course, going to be choosing later which matches everyone should watch. I almost chose that one, actually, the Sudan-Senegal match, because I think it's going to be a close game, but I agree with you. I think Senegal is going to get it done.
Yeah, and then the second game, they have sometimes these strange games come along every once in a while that are so steeped with political implications that it's hard to, they're more than just a game, right? Sudan versus South Sudan. That's the game, right? That's a wild game. And you kind of throw all the tactics, you throw all the form out the window because there's so many emotions. It's a weird one, right?
We talked about in Europe when you pitted Serbia and Albania together. This is another one where I'm just confused. I'm like, who is deciding that these matches should be played, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm another country on the brink of some perhaps civil war, but crazy things happening in South Sudan as well. Very difficult game to comprehend, to think about, but it's tough, right? I think the players are gonna feel the pressure, and it's a difficult game to predict.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a good underperformer of the round because of where they've kind of started with and gone in that direction. Mine's an interesting one here because also started off, in a different competition, have just qualified for the African Cup of Nations, and that is Angola is my underperformer this round. Okay. It's an interesting one because at this point they'd be favored, I think, on both of the matches that they're playing. But the one match that I'm very curious about is the Cabo Verde match, right? And we've seen how good Cabo Verde was prior. Yeah, had a little bit of a slower start to this World Cup qualification campaign, but there's a specific match that Cabo Verde just came off of in November. And they tied Egypt 1-1, right?
Right.
And I'm seeing glimpses of that Cabo Verde team from before. and
Yeah.
they play Angola in this round. And I'm thinking, I know the match is in Angola, but I'm like, this is one that I think Angola could slip up in, and that would be, if they don't get that done, I think it's it's one that that qualifies them as an underperformer of the round.
Interesting. I agree. Cape Verde at times incredibly exciting, interesting. We saw them, of course, in the African Cup of Nations. So impressive at times.
Yeah. So if they get their four back, I think Angola is going to be the ones who are going
Yeah.
to be at
Right.
the
Interesting.
raw end of that. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Let us know about what do you think about our picks for underperformer of the round. Now we're getting into the happier stuff. Winners of the round. So Rahi, go
You
ahead.
want to go
You start.
first?
I'll go first. Mine's so obvious. I mean, it's the team that is in great form, the team that is probably right now the favorites in Africa, within the African region, the top team. It's Morocco.
Yeah.
And they have a little bit of a tricky game against Niger, right? Niger's gotten a few victories here in this World Cup qualification campaign, but this is a different animal that you're dealing with.
That was an easy pick. You went the
Yeah.
easy way out there. I mean, they are
Yeah.
not just the winner of the round. You're talking about the winner of the region. I mean, they look a different level at the moment.
Yeah. That's my team. There's not much to talk about. I mean, the names speak for themselves. The Brahim Diaz's, Hakimis of the world. You could just names go on. Yeah,
incredible, man. He's just really come into form for Real Madrid. He just is playing out of this world.
Yeah, so I think that's an easy pick, and I think as good as Niger's been, like I said, I think this team is too good right now, and they're in too good a form to be beaten. So okay, what do you got?
There's only one answer to this, because this is the team that needs to be the winner of the round. Because if they're not the winner of the round, they are not going to qualify for the World Cup, which would be the biggest shame of all shames. This is the Super Eagles round. It has to be their round. They have to get 6 points from this round. I think they will do so. They have a motivated Osimhen, Lookman playing out of this world, Chukwueze doing some good things, the new manager who no one's ever heard of, but hey, he's the manager. But hey, Eric Chell, let's see what he can do. Nigeria has to win these games. They get to play in Rwanda, beautiful Kigali. What a gorgeous place. They get to enjoy themselves. And they play Zimbabwe, a game they should win. 6 points. It's got to be Saab, right?
They better. I mean, they're wearing their jersey proudly, right? So they got it.
They've got to turn on at some point. This has got to be the moment. Look, I know Nigerian fans are a little disappointed with the choice of manager, because you thought you get a big name, then you get Eric Chell, who's
no, but he coached Mali. He coached Mali before.
Mali, but
yes,
not Nigeria.
Yeah. Fair.
That's his biggest job. I mean, look, I'm not going to criticize the guy until I see what he puts out on the field. So he doesn't have the reputation, but it has worked before. You talked about Morocco. Yeah. Hey, Morocco, by the way, hired a manager that was not really known, regional manager, and he's done well. So sometimes the big names, you don't need the big names.
Yep, that's interesting. I mean, there's a lot riding on that. So Rahi, let's flip it over to the matches now to tell people what matches everyone should watch, and we'll get into that right now. We'll start with your match of the round. Okay. Who you got? This is
an interesting one. On the theme of Mali, I'm going with the Mali against a team that maybe you didn't even know existed. Maybe some of our viewers have no idea that this is even a country. It's a small island off the coast of Madagascar called Comoros, right? This team is sitting top of their group, which means they're aligned to qualify for the World Cup. If they get a result against Mali, if they win this game, man, they're a step closer to what could be, the most shocking qualification for the World Cup of any team in the history of this tournament.
I agree. If Comoros makes it there, just based on, I mean, they've played well. Like we've seen, this is a solid
incredibly
team.
well, but aside from the country.
But exactly. But going off just the country and sort of, what the country has to deal with on, it's a very small country, right? It's a very, modest in terms of how they are economically and everything, right? So the fact that if they are able to qualify for the World Cup based on the factors that are going against them, it's incredible. It would be, like you said, the biggest story out there. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. Could be a big moment for this team if they get the win.
And everything riding on that. Okay, on to finishing off with my match to watch. Rahi, you got the jersey. I got the match. So
Okay.
it's Rwanda versus Nigeria. A lot of history with this one because if you remember the last time these teams played, it wasn't Nigeria that was on the winning end of that match. It was, in fact, Rwanda.
But Nigeria did win that group.
Yes.
The qualifiers for the African Cup of Nations. You wonder if they took their foot off the pedal there, subbed out some starters. But yes, this is a difficult game for Nigeria, no doubt. This is a Rwanda team that has been playing very well. But if they want to qualify for the World Cup with the players they have, with the talent they have to show up in this game. And if they do, Nigeria and the Super Eagles will win this game. But hey, I don't know because I haven't seen it in a while from this team.
Yeah, all the guys need to step up. Iwobi needs to step up. You know, Truste Kong, as a captain, needs to step up. The whole team, and it's really now or never for Nigeria.
Yeah,
and again, Rwanda is not a slouch. This is a tough team that has shown that they can, on their day, beat Nigeria. And there's a lot of pressure on Nigeria, which is why I think everyone out there, you guys have to watch this match. You have to watch it. Yeah,
television. Must watch television. Yeah,
must watch. So, Rahi, now you're predicting Comoros to beat Mali, I assume? Yes? No?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
2-1.
Yes. All right. 2-1 Comoros to beat Mali. I think that's going to be a draw. But this one, what do you got? Who's winning this match?
The Super Eagles will fly again, my friends. I believe it's 2-0.
All right.
Lukman getting both the goals.
Okay.
Good score in bunches.
Good for you. I think it's going to be tougher than you make it out to be, but I think Nigeria wins it 2-1. And the Super Eagles are, hopefully, for you Nigeria fans out there, and we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to say too much, but that could get them back on the path to the World Cup.
A 6-point window would get them right back on the path.
Yeah. So for everyone out there, all you fans of African football, let us know if you agree with our predictions and who's winning and all that sort of stuff. And as always, keep watching the beautiful game.